I am taking it easy today, but we are going to have a lot of fun doing EG6 stuff today because everyone's been asking for it for weeks. And I've been constantly distracted with new things. So you're all our comfort voices. Oh, that's. I'm sorry that it's that you have to deal with my voice to be your comfort voice, but I'm a
It's a
ra-
pretty good voice.
I'm a raspy giggler. Okay, like I can't I can't stop that.
Is Rhapsody going to be here today?
I don't think so. She is going to go karting with her friends in Florida today. So
Oh, that's right. She's still in the States.
yeah, and she'll be in Chicago on Sunday. So it'll be a lot of fun because we got an Airbnb. So we'll see how it goes. It's gonna be it's gonna be wild meeting up for the first time.
That's amazing. Are you guys going to be prompting in the server today?
Yeah. Well, today I'm gonna just do VC create. Not gonna worry about rooms or nothing like that. It's all here on Discord, so I might as well keep it all here.
Hmm.
Um, in terms of like user engagement and all that stuff, I feel like just keeping it all on Discord makes the most sense for the stream. But um,
Yeah.
the rooms were great. It's just at the end of the day, like this is gonna be faster for most people. I feel like so. Cool beans. I got my haircut today for the first time in nearly 3 years.
Ooh, is it still long?
It is still long. It is still long. That's why mainly why I took so long to do it, was because I do like having a lot of length, but it was too damn hot. With all the fires from Canada and whatnot, it's just increased the humidity here significantly, and it's just miserable to be this hot. So,
Oh, I
I
bet.
I was like, if I'm eating Rhapsody, I'm not gonna have raggedy long hair. I'm gonna at least get it cleaned up a bit. So that's what I did.
Yeah, I hear you.
Ice karting? I've never been
Well,
ice karting.
all right. Are you ready for the button pressing?
I am ready.
I've also never ice karting. What is ice karting? I guess I should probably find that out later now that you guys are starting.
No, it's all good. Karting on ice. I figured it was. I
Mm.
figured it was that, but I mean, when it gets really cold here, like Lake Superior will freeze over completely. Oh, not completely, but it will freeze over enough that they can make a highway across it and whatnot. And like people go driving on it, and I'm like, how can you trust that your car is not going to go through the ice? Like that is crazy. But yeah, no, plenty of people do it here when it gets real bad and the roads get worse than the ice is. They'll go yeah go on the ice. It's just ninety
Too
percent
funny.
drifting all the time. Yeah, that does sound fun. All right, thanks for pushing that button, AC. And welcome everybody. We're going to be doing something pretty fun today. This has been a highly requested thing. Um, we are going to do Niji 6 today exclusively. So we've been really having a lot of fun with version 7 for the last couple weeks. I mean, there's always been something new coming up, right? Um, that having going back to older models has been not exactly the most tempting thing, but now that we've had our time with version 7, I think we see the strengths of not just version 7 but also of previous models. You know, there's nothing wrong with going back to an older version of Midjourney for solving a particular task, and our task today is to make anime because that's what DG6 gonna do, and we're gonna lean all the way into that today. And I know that there's a bunch of folks that are excited for that. Um, Quick shout out to the folks that are here: Enid, Rock and Rolla, Alara, Nixie, Fungi Mancer, Humanity. Let's see here: Bert, Design, Golden Pasta, Hillgarden, Tanner, and Wonderful World of Stuff. Those are the folks I recognize instantly here. Thank you guys so much for coming in and hanging out with us at the start of the stream here. And for anyone that is new here, though, Hi, my name is Victor Gnarly. Oh, hey, Reveille, good to see you. My name is Victor Gnarly. I'm a former visual effects artist with Adult Swim. I worked on a handful of different Cartoon Network shows like Robot Chicken, Moral Oral, and a couple others. But now I'm doing this stuff with you guys, and I'm having so much more fun doing this. I know I say that a lot, but it is seriously so much more fun to collaborate and make things with you guys, rather than working with stuffy studio heads and stuff. So this is awesome. Hey, Twisted Reality, thank you so much for coming. So if for the folks who are new here, but these streams go up on YouTube eventually. It's been a little bit of some technical snafus during the release of version 7 in video, but everything is up and running and going really well now. So I got a new stage here that you guys have been, kind of seeing for the last like 2 or 3 weeks here, but it's been using the new Midjourney video in order to make cool looping backgrounds and whatnot. And I have a nice, gorgeous, foggy, rainy day outside, and that's my happy place. And I love that you can make your own little happy place with this stuff, especially with video now. So I'm also joined here with Kinky and Ancient from Midjourney. And if
Hello.
hello, thank you so guys so much for joining here. And I see that we got Legal Beagle from the Gnarly Studio server as well. So we have a server dedicated to sharing the stuff that we make called Gnarly Studios. You are welcome to join it. You'll find links for it inside of VC Text. So here inside of the stream, you'll see that there is the stage where we're all talking right now. Just above that, just above that, you'll have... Oh, it keeps disappearing on me. Okay, there you go. Just above that, you'll have VC Text and VC Create. So VC Text is where we're chatting. You're welcome to say hey or anything like that there. And then in VC Create, just underneath that, is where we're going to be prompting together. So my favorite thing about working with Midjourney is the fact that we can do things as a group. We can iterate as a group. So any of the prompts that you have made in the past or you're making now, we can just jump right in and just start digging into your old stuff and either improving it or continuing it or whatever we want to do. We'll see how we'll see what we get into. But it is a really great way to collaborate. So if you do have any existing prompts or anything like that, you can use VC Create with /show. And then grab the job ID of the previous prompt that you've done. So here's midjourney.com. It's easy. It's easier for me to grab the ID from here. So let's see. I do have one of Rhapsody running away from shrimp falling. This is an actual photo from her of the beach that she is appreciating in Florida right now, and we tease her a good amount with what is it with shrimp and whatnot. So it what you can do to get these prompts is you can come up here to the hamburger menu up here, and then go to copy and then job ID. Okay. And what this is going to let you do is it's going to let you share your full prompts inside of Discord. So you see I typed /show and it says job ID here. So now I'm just going to paste the job ID, and as soon as we submit that in, oh wait, that's an edited one. Hold on, let me grab a prompt that doesn't have edits to it real quick. I'm just going to stream somewhere random inside of, I'll just grab one of these here. From when I also was bothering Rhapsody with saying that I was going to make her plane go bump, being a gremlin on her flight to Florida. I mean, it fits the image here for myself, But you can see what I've done here is I have wrong channel. Am I in the wrong? Oh, I'm in media. Oops, I'm in media. Thank you so much, Golem. Thank you. There we go. /show. Here we go. It's very easy for me to get thrown off on what channel I'm in. Thank you so much for that, Golem. There we go. Okay, now it's inside of VC Create, and you can see that there is a reroll button right here. If you do have remix mode on, we're going to go to /settings to see if it's on. If you do have that on, then you can easily iterate off of the stuff people make here. So let's click this button, boom, and now remix mode is on. And what this is going to let me do is if I like any of these prompts, I can just hit reroll, and change the prompt entirely as much as I want. So since we're doing Niji 6 today, let's see what the Niji 6 version of this prompt is. Of Tap Dancing Gremlin on the Plane Wing. That was my prompt for this. But since version 6 or Niji 6 does not have omni-referencing, it has character referencing, we could just switch this O to a C and then get rid of our omni weight and then hit submit. And that should work. And get us a Niji 6 version of this prompt here. So let's see what we get. There's some fun stuff being shared by Enid inside of VC Text that you guys should definitely check out. We'll be running videos for you guys. So any of the cool images that you guys make, we are definitely going to lean into making them into videos, especially if they give us some really cool like inspiration to work off of here. So awesome. This is really cool, Enid. Awesome. Okay, as you can see, here is the Niji 6 version of it, and because the image here, the character referencing is far more literal, I am sitting in a director's chair with this image here. That chair is pretty much persistent in all of these results. If we, this is going to be a refresher of character referencing instead of omni-referencing for version 7 for most of y'all, but let's try to get rid of this chair. So I'm going to hit reroll on this again. And first thing I'm going to try to do is add a character weight. The weight on its own at 100 will take all aspects of the image and really try to reproduce it faithfully. If we lower that, it'll lean more towards what's written in the prompt. So if I drop this to like 50, so we're going from 100 to 50, I can also include a negative weight. So let's go for -- no, and then I'm going to say director's chair. And then let's hit submit on that and see if that combination gets us more of a gremlin on a plane doing shenanigans as opposed to sitting in a director's chair. And it looks like that's exactly what it's doing. So let's see how this goes. Look at that. All right. This is exactly what I was looking for. Far more gremlin on a plane mode going here. This is yes, there you go. We got it there. And you can basically compare the strengths of each one of the models by just using remix mode to change the version of it. So let's see here. No sir, no getting out of this chair. Okay. Oh yeah, no, you're stuck with me for a couple hours today, guys. Thank you all so much for joining. And I want to see what you guys do with this stuff, especially as we start digging into the much desired Niji 6 prompts that you guys have been doing over this last week or so. I want to see it all. This is especially impressive to me. Is Enid's like super wow? Like what? This is awesome. What's this mood board?
Yes.
Like, I really want to know more about this mood board, honestly. If you look at her prompt, it is multiple comic book panels, action poses, 5-panel comic book page, sci-fi story, alien landscapes, nighttime, creatures, Enid with pink hair, standing resolute, a speech bubble saying gnarly time, aspect ratio 5:3, raw, profile, MOT 8L6W, and Niji 6. Okay. It's slop. Hey, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by it's slop? I do want to look at it in order to know what's doing this, because this is such a poppy look. But it's random stuff to make random stuff. Okay, I mean, it is very cool. I definitely dig the results of it. So let's give it a try. I'm going to copy your profile. Boop. And you can tell that the prompt is like really being motivated by the profile because of just how much stuff is asking for panels and action poses, and it's not really giving us that, right? So I'm curious what this profile actually looks like. What sort of slop are you delivering here, Enid? So let's dig into that. I'm going to just give us a very simple prompt to start off with, which is multiple comic panels, just to see what sort of shenanigans you're up to here. It's the Tism, my lord. Oh, this is really great. Oh, that's so cute. Good job, Legal. But let's do multiple comic panels, and then we want something that's somewhat like the aspect ratio of a comic panel. So I'd say aspect ratio 4:5. Comic page, particularly, I'm going to go for here. But we're going to do multiple comic panels, and then hit submit. Oops, I'm doing that in version 7. I got to not break my own rules here. We got to do DG6. Hold on. So to make sure I don't do that again, we can go into /settings and change it from default of version 7 to Niji 6. So we just scroll on down here until we see Niji 6. Niji model version 6. There we go. And now that that's saved in my settings, I can just copy this prompt again. You'll see that it'll default back to Niji 6. So let's see what this looks like. Yeah, the longer panels will definitely, like longer aspect ratios, encourage the comic panels because it needs to fill in that space and it puts in the borders pretty easily if they're included inside of the mood board, especially. But I'm curious what we get off of this first. So, ooh, look at that. Yeah, you can see the influence of the mood board is so dramatic when it comes to the color pop here. That red influence is huge on this, but it looks almost like a pizza knife that the character is holding here. Don't touch the pizza knife. Or a watermelon knife. But what is this? A human monster god named Kravis. He has wild orange hair with pale gray skin and a dark old wizard theme, but he has a dark and dangerous and deadly aura about him. Super scary monster god knows, but also very grumpy. What? Bert, this is fun for me. I do dig it. I do really dig the aesthetic of this. I see that the Phantasma mood board is on here, so that's pretty cool. But I'm curious about the others. If you don't mind describing what's inside of this, I would love to know, as well as like your kind of like logic for the style reference on top of this too. Yeah, please link them. You win this round, EG folks. What is this? Oh, all right. That's not what I wanted. Why? Okay, there we go. Fighting that giant sloth. Tiny little, it looks like little fairy gnome people jumping around him too. It's pretty cool. We are going to be animating the stuff that you guys make today. So, yeah, I love this look. It has this like almost vintage anime aesthetic that I am super down for. So, like, if I were to say, hey, I really like how this looks, I'm curious what happens, again, if we just do, instead of multiple comic panels with this one, what if we did, this is a retro animated anime film, we could say what year it's made, all that sort of stuff, but I just want to see what sort of retro anime we get off of this, as well as 16, no, it's, we got to do 4:3. If we're doing retro, we're going full retro here. So 4:3 aspect ratio. I'm curious what we get off of this. Ooh, Lolo. I see plenty of Enid stuff going on here, but mixing in with your own mood board, or now your own style references. Neat. Curious to see how that all pans out. But okay, here's our retro anime film with that with the style reference and mood board from Bert. And this is cool. This is very fleshed out, actually. Extremely impressive. I love this. Great job, Bert. Okay, and I see old Yakuza movies, and okay, nice. No, we appreciate it. Thank you. What I'm gonna do here is I definitely want to see some of these animes here. It looks pretty gritty. Like it has this like grit to it that I think it kind of reminds me of like I don't know, like almost like a Hell on Earth sort of stories. So why don't we do and you guys do whatever you want when it comes to remixing what people have delivered here. There's a lot of cool characters and stuff that you guys are going to see. I want to introduce the character portal because there might be some new people here who are unfamiliar with kind of how we operate here. So we have a Discord, the Gnarly Studios Discord, that Kinky's been linking inside of VC Text. You can just click this button here to go to that server. Inside of that server, you're going to find the character portal. And the character portal is where you can submit original characters, or you can use someone else's character, and basically get reliable results with them. Because it's not just here's a link and use it. These are mostly fleshed out like character designs that you can just go up to the top of each post and you'll get everything, including recommended prompts. It's just Zero did a great job on Topaz here, and we featured Topaz, I think, 2 weeks ago. But we've been doing a method of these turnarounds that is just so much fun, where we use the video model to create extremely consistent turnarounds of our characters. And this is how we're going to be doing this moving forward, because it's just so much more consistent than re-rolling character sheets. Look at that. It's just so good. So we're going to make an original character today and submit it to the character portal. But if you do not have a character, then just go to the character portal and grab one. We can even be inspired by one and then go from there. So like there's just so many from you guys. You guys have submitted so many fun ones. My favorite thing about this, though, is that as soon as you do submit it and someone else uses your character, as long as you're following that thread, you'll get updates whenever somebody else uses that character and shares something that they like. We heavily encourage people tagging the characters as well. So like Gal here, for example, here's another turnaround of Gal. Look at that. It's so good. It's just such a good way to do this. And you can find out how to do this inside of our knowledge portal inside the Gnarly Studios server. So you go to the knowledge base here, and then using video to create turnarounds. So follow this tutorial here in order to create dynamic turnarounds of your characters. If I go too fast at any point, it's all going to be right here. And Gompasta just knocked it out of the park when making this submission, because it's like everything that is so hot about the new video model is just it just shines that here. So let's go ahead and I'll copy this message here and paste it inside of VC Text for you guys. So if you do need a link to that, it's there inside of VC Text. So let's grab one of these characters from the results that you guys have made and start fleshing them out, because we need to create a turnaround sheet in order to get truly consistent characters. You can get away with a lot with omni-referencing in version 7, but since we're going to do Niji 6, we really need to make sure we get a proper sheet done. Because I'm already seeing some really amazing stuff from you guys. Oh no, you did more than help, Gompasta. You kind of changed. I shared your turnaround thing to 2 working artists, and they started using it too. I'm talking like industry people. They were like, "Wait, what? Okay, no, this changes things." And I'm like, "Yeah, it definitely changes things." So it is a blessing for sure. But let's see here. We have these a couple of these characters from my result that came up earlier. I kind of like the girl with the striped shirt here in the middle with the bob cut. So let's go ahead and grab that one. I'll up-res it. And we're basically gonna do a little bit of snipping. We're gonna be taking some characters here. Oh, look at all these ones from Enid here, and I know I get Enid's style. Like, when people say AI users don't have style, I show Enid. Like, Enid is a wonderful example of someone who is so consistent when it comes to like, this is mine. Like, this is what I do. It's like I make things pink and I make things loud, and I love the way that her characters exaggerate. So it's awesome. Oh, look at some of these expressions, too. Legal's having some fun. So let's go ahead and grab that. Okay. We have our... Wait. Did I not notice the hot dog? Yeah. Or not whatever this thing, this popsicle on a stick, I did not see that there originally. It is making me laugh. But it's for being yellow, it looks like it's been dipped in cheese. So that's a wonderful kind of mouth feel for you guys. A popsicle dipped in cheese. But let's go ahead and copy this image. We could upscale it, but we don't need to. Not for what we're doing. And what I'm going to do is we are going to isolate this character here and then use it as a reference. There's a lot of different ways that you can manipulate images. Obviously, you can use Photoshop, you can use MS Paint, whatever you want to do. But today, I'm just going to use the snipping tool inside of Windows. You can also just screen cap on your phone for this. But we need to isolate to just one character in order to get this to work. Woo! All right, so let's go ahead and hit New. And then I'm going to snip just this one character out of the image here. I'm going to hit Copy. Okay. Now, I'm going to paste that image inside of VC Create. You can also crop at the editor. Yeah, we could. It's just going to take a little longer for me to do that because I'm in Discord. But yes, you could easily also crop in the editor. But I'm just going to take this image that we've now cropped and pasted into VC Create. And I'm going to hit Copy Image Address. This will get us a direct link to the image, which is what you need in order to reference it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit /imagine. And we are going to first create a single image of this character standing on a white background in order to set up our video turnaround. So let's go ahead and first do a good description of the character helps out a lot with this. So let's actually run /describe first. Get a description of her real quick. We could just manually start describing details about her, but it is really surprising how well it is at. Oops, I copied the link again. How good it just does the like basic character description stuff. Like this is what. We just really need to get the text for this because especially things like hairstyles or like the genre of the medium, Midjourney Describe is really good at this. So there's a couple, and I'm seeing some names here. I usually avoid names. I just prefer to see the results without limiting the latent space to particular people's names. So let's go ahead and oops, I hit reroll on that. Let's go ahead and grab one of these here. A girl wearing casual. I love how like I say that with Victor too because of Midjourney results like this. My character description is wearing black, like not anything specifically black, just wearing black. That tends to create some cool stuff for me. So let's go ahead and hit /imagine. And we are going to paste a girl wearing casual with short brown hair. And we'll get rid of the facing viewer's perspective. And we don't really need the rest of it. I guess all we got off of that one was short brown hair. So you're wearing a long sleeve t-shirt and jacket. Let's grab that as well. Blimey, your Brit is showing. Okay. Let's see here. Now, a girl wearing casual. Okay, let's see here. She has pale skin. Let's say that she is. Okay. And what else is useful in here? Brown hair and bangs. Okay. Brown hair and bangs. I do this pretty like that's why I love it when we get 4 results because it shows me the variety of the prompt itself, the reverse prompt, the image prompt that we're doing here, or sorry, the image interrogation that we're doing. Just gives me that ability to go, no, oh, you missed this thing and missed this thing. British. Yes, that's exactly how my partner, who is half British, pronounces it too. British. Okay, let's see if there's anything else that's useful inside of here. And we don't need to do like a surprised expression or anything like that because we don't want that. We want effectively a T-pose, right? Without saying T-pose because otherwise it's like really stiff. But I think this is good. Now let's go ahead and grab that image one more time. Right click, copy image link. And I'm going to do --cref, that stands for character reference, and then paste the link. Okay? And I have the G6 turned on by default, so I don't need to write that. And let's make sure that we'll be good with the square. If we need to resize it, we resize it afterward. Oh, that's cute. Golden Pasta already going on it. We'll see. We'll compare ours. We'll see how well both of these perform, and then go from there. I see you put a low character weight of 30, so I'm curious how much we get in terms of the. Okay. Yeah, let's compare. And I'm not happy. Wait. I just had to boost my own server enough to get my stickers, and I'm not happy about it. Oh no. Oh, cool. I love how you're expanding your outfit already. Let's go ahead and I would say the third one is probably the most accurate to this. I'm really digging Gomes though. We'll see. We'll compare the two and then decide from there. Ideally, we want to make sure that background is whited out, but we can always do that in post. No big deal. I do like her with the shorts and the long jacket though. That's really cute. Brutish. Are we going to be doing a bunch of British degenerates in let's see here. Ooh, who did this one? That's another one from Goem. Okay, cool. Okay, let's expand on these two here. So, in terms of the character accuracy, I think Gomes wins right now because that lower character weight's just making a more believable face for the character. Yeah, let's go with hers. Let's see here. Okay, cool. So the first thing we got to do with this is that we have to make sure that we have plenty of ample negative space around the character. Varying and remixing to try and tidy it up. I think it's pretty good. But let's make sure there's plenty of negative space around the character because we need room for her to rotate. If you do not give room for that, it tends to want to move or make the character have some action in the scene to fit the tighter aspect ratio here. So let's first hit the make square button. Let that load here, and you keep going. I mean, keep going. Give her some feet. Feel free to give her feet. But we're gonna start with this here. I have noticed that when doing the turnarounds, if the feet are important, include them. But if they're not, right, like she can wear whatever shoes she wants to wear or whatever, then the turnarounds actually, in my opinion, happen a little easier. Because then they're not like stomping around trying to justify where the feet are going to go. Let's see. Don't go too wide, though. MJ tries to fill the space with something, often zooming in or stepping out of frame. Yeah. I would recommend no more than like 2 spaces of the size of her on the left and right. So make square does good for most things, but as soon as you get to a full body, that's why I was saying as soon as you get to full body, tends to do some fun stuff for animating. So I don't want fun stuff. I want what I asked for, which is a clean turnaround here. So let's take this image here, okay, and we are going to go to Goem's turnaround, character turnaround thing here, and you can see that the prompt here is asking for low motion, and then a 3D model turnaround. So let's go ahead and copy this prompt with a loose description of the character. So now that, and I have remix mode on, so I can make sure that you got to use animate manually now on web. As long as you have remix mode on, animate manually will do so by itself. You need remix mode for that to work. So basically if I hit here, boom, I get my edit that I can apply here and then paste this, and we're going to make that loose description of the character. Let's just say that she is a short brown hair girl with bangs and long jacket. Okay. 3D model turnaround. Let's start off, let's make that short. Let's just say it's a short hair anime girl. Just something simple. 3D model turnaround. Okay. And it does already feature her with brown hair. I don't think I really need to. I think we're good if we just write anime girl, honestly. And then I'm going to hit submit on this. Yeah, if you are on the website, the animate button, you will see has the ability to set animate manually by clicking that button right here. But if you are on Discord, you have to use /remix slash settings and then remix mode to get her to wait, what did it say here? Turbo mode is not supported for video jobs. Okay, all right. Let me get this fixed up here. So if I hit /settings, I'm on turbo mode to show things quicker for you guys, but for videos I have to turn that off. So let me click turn that off here. And it fast mode instead. There we go. Okay, let's try that again.
You can probably do a manual fast flag at the end.
Okay, just fast. Okay, sweet. So I'm gonna say anime girl, and then hyphen fast, and that should bypass the. Let's go ahead and hit submit on this. Did that work? Yeah, I think it's rendering. All right, cool. I'll put myself back on turbo mode for everything else then. Good to know. All right, and thank you guys so much again for joining. It's so great having all y'all here. I see a couple new faces. Feel free to say hey. I want to see the stuff that you've done. So please post it inside of VC text if you have something finished that you want to share, or if you're working on something, feel free to use VC Create to share it. And we'll work on it together. All right. What's happening here? Let's see. We have the video is rendering right now. You can see that we're getting our turnaround, but is it punching in a little bit? Let's see. I think it is. Yes, I think we need to describe the. Unless I set a different aspect, or did I? Oh, I manually set it to 1:1, I guess. So let's try a different aspect ratio while that's rendering really quick. Okay, it's 5877. That's my bad on that one. So let's just get rid of the aspect ratio entirely. That was my bad for copying that from the prompt. Gonna hit hyphen fast, and then I'm gonna say anime girl 3D model turnaround. So the problem I had with it was that I set an aspect ratio when I submitted the video prompt. If I did not do that, it'll take whatever the aspect ratio of the image is. So let's see what the results are with this. Oh, no, it did it. It did it. Okay. All right. So we are definitely getting her animated, like instead of this more like 3D model turnaround. So we probably we'll probably rerun this one more time, but look at that. I love that we're able to see her from all angles though. This is enough for us to create the turnaround sheet with though. If we take say like the first video and then only export like her 3/4 and stuff, we could easily mirror one of those results to create the other. But I want to see what happens with this one, see if we're able to get her to whatever it does to on this other iteration here. I see that you're describing this one. Ooh, this is really pretty. I do dig. That first one's gorgeous. I love the kind of like lady of the lake kind of effect of where her dress is like water, and it's just that looks really cool. I dig it. We could probably do some fun stuff with that. Let's see here. All right, this was our other one. We got a full turnaround on that one. Sweet. So let's take a look at which one was good here. She's got a hood, which is not bad. I think a hood's fine. Yeah, her neck is a little weird at the end here. Like if we take a very quick look, it snaps back in a bit of an odd way, but I think that's fine. If we didn't want the hood, we could use the bottom right one here, but I'm going to up-res the first one here. And now we're going to take this and turn this into a quick character sheet. So I use Photoshop for this. Like I said, you can use MS Paint. You can use really whatever program you want to do this. But we just need to collect a couple frames from this video and then use that as a character sheet. So I'm going to switch myself over to the tablet here. Okay, just so that you guys can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to set a new canvas up to be just a nice big open white sheet here. And inside of the video feed here, I am going to download the video and then immediately open it up inside of Chrome. And the reason why I'm doing this inside of Chrome is because Chrome has this really cool feature that Rhapsody actually showed me. which is you can go to any particular frame that you want. So let's get her profile here, okay? And then you can right click on it and hit copy video frame. And then just drag it over or just paste it into Photoshop or any MS Paint program like that. And we're just gonna do that with all the angles for her. So let's go ahead and now get the back of her. Let's pick a good frame for that. Her ear kind of pops there too, so you can start to see the errors and things that you need to make adjustments for, or just like pick your favorite frame for. I would say this one's cute because her hair's all poofed out like that. Now we can hit copy frame and once again paste this into Photoshop. And we're gonna just make sure we get all the major angles, particularly profile back to the 3/4 and or 3/4 and then the front. So let's do that. We need 2 more. This one's pretty good for the 3/4. I like this one. So let's copy that one. Copy video frame is like awesome. So almost every browser except Firefox, yeah. It also works on other Chromium-based browsers. That's good to know. Thank you. Thank you for letting us know that, Tanner. But now I'm going to copy and grab the front of her as well. Something like this. Copy image frame, paste that into this program here. Is there any others that we want? I'm going to also grab this one, which is another 3/4, but it's going to be the back side of her, which we might need if the character is talking to somebody else. So let's copy this frame. And now inside of Photoshop here, we are just going to remove this blue background. We could have done this before we ran the video, but it really doesn't matter at this stage. We just need to first do the wand selection. Actually, you know what? We're going to isolate this by hitting the contiguous button. Contiguous lets us not be restricted by basically islands of colors. Contiguous means that it's going to try to stay like within whatever region. So now if I turn that off and I select the blue here, it selects all of the blue inside of the canvas instead of, and I'll just show you what it looks like. If we just click that with contiguous, it won't select the others, right? Because they're within islands of other blue or separated by these borders here. So we'll turn that off and then click that, okay? And I use a setting called masking a lot with this. It just basically I compress everything into a layer. I use smart objects, so let's do that. And now I'm going to hit select inverse, because remember we selected the blue earlier. Now we selected everything but the blue, so I should be able to just hit this mask button right here and all the blue disappears. There's some border, some manual cleanup we need to do, nothing too crazy, but 99% of the work is now done. Like, it's so fast to do that. So I grab my pen real quick here and we just zoom in, see where the errors are. It looks like we only got like this little bits on the corner here. Grab the pen tool, make sure it's on black with a nice big pen, and we're just gonna draw in these last little bits here. So I can zoom all the way in, see that there's no fraying or anything like that. We have a little bit of blue that is showing through that we could use like a color key to get rid of, but I think this is fine. This should be good. Now that we have our poses, I am going to let's just go ahead and start isolating each one of these with the master beside it. So we have, let's go ahead and just copy this here. I'm going to copy one, put it next to it. We want to make sure we have enough room around the characters to copy and paste it, but we don't want a giant sheet for no reason. We'll just go ahead and copy all these and bring them close enough to each other, but not so close it's annoying to crop them later. So, oops. Okay. And last one, paste. Oh, I need to get that first one here. There you go. And now we just make sure that we have this in the right order for just looking nice. You don't have to do this, but I like things to look good. So let's go ahead and get this. We have, this will be 1. That'll be 2. 3 and 4. All right. And now we can actually upscale one of the results here. So we really like that first one we got. So let's go ahead and jump this up to here. And you could always click on the top of your Discord, by the way, to jump up to your previous prompts. I know that we've been using the website a lot on these streams, but for anyone that is digging into Discord, you just click on the top of the prompts to jump up to whichever one was the derivative, whichever one it's derivative of. So let's go ahead and hit upscale subtle. We do not want to hit upscale creative because that's going to change our image in ways that do not match our turnaround sheet anymore. So with that upscale, we will copy that into the character sheet, and we have a new character ready to go. See how fast and easy that is? The thing is that we also need to make some fun poses that matches the character, but we don't know anything about this character yet. We have to decide all that. We have to, put on our thinking caps and start figuring out who this person is. Here's what I want from you guys while I'm sipping on this coffee smoothie I have here. I want to know a name and a little description about her. Come up with anything you want, okay? But post it inside of VC text, because we're going to use that to base the poses, the behavioral references of this character. Because it's one thing to have a turnaround sheet. It's one thing to have a nice high-res image of her that we can work with. But I need I need her personality. I need to figure out who she is. So type inside of VC text right now who you think this person is, and maybe a little bit of a backstory for her. Nothing crazy, guys. I'm gonna work with her pretty quick, but we're gonna submit that to the character portal after this. So go ahead and submit that, and I'm going to while that's happening, I'm going to go ahead and isolate her background in the background while you guys do that. Do you want to do announcements, Genki, while that's happening?
Sure, absolutely. Hello. Welcome to the Kinky Minute. My name's Kinky Kong, and I'm here to tell you about a little thing we like to call prompt battles. We, every weekend, the community gets together on Saturdays and Sundays and plays a game. I want to play a game. And the game is actually a challenge issued to you every 15-20 minutes, where one player decides what they want us to do, and then we make that in our own styles, in our own ways, and interpret it however we like, as long as it's Midjourney friendly. And we come back with our images, the favorite one that we made, and we put it into something called a poll unit, which makes everything totally anonymous. You can't see who created the image, and you can't see who's voting for you, because that wouldn't be fair. So what we do is we vote for 2 minutes after the 10 minutes of prompting, and then we go ahead and choose the winner, and the winner gets to tell us what to do next. Once that winner tells us what to do next, the beautiful cycle begins again. We do this for about 8 hours on Saturday and 8 hours on Sunday, and I wish you'd come join us, because we're a bunch of lovely folks who really, 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 really enjoy getting to know people from the community. We like to help people. We like to get help from people. This isn't an event where someone's going to sit down and teach you things, because far be it from me to know what I'm talking about. But it's an event where we just all play together and we learn new stuff together, and it's a really good time. I do hope you show up. If you can't make it on Saturday, you can make it on Sunday. You don't have to spend the whole day. There are participation hours, even if you're not confident that you'll win. I'm sure that you will. But if you don't, still get participation hours. Come on through and hang out with us. And I'm gonna let Victor get back on the microphone.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely join prompt battles. It's worth it, guys. All right, let's quickly open up the tablet here, because I have now isolated the character. I did notice one thing when I turned off contiguous, was just I forgot she actually has blue in her shirt, in the stripe that's here. So we can fix that pretty quickly, just by color selecting the blue, and then getting her, just drawing behind her to fill this in. So you could see that it just cropped it out, so I could just redraw the blue back in. Now I will say there's actually an error in her rainbow that I didn't recognize right off the bat. But we could easily fix that right here. So let's go ahead and get rid of that purple that's there, just so that everything is a little more understood when it comes to these colors here. So I'm going to hit sample all layers, select the purple, and then I'm just going to literally draw that back in. If you do not have a tablet, you can, you don't need to be too crazy accurate with this. It just good enough to get the colors and the line work into the right place without all sorts of little artifacts and things to get in the way. So I'm just going to go into the last two of these images here and grab this here like that. Good. And this one as well. It's a little blurry when it comes to this, but that's fine. We're just getting her poses, because the reason why we did this, the reason why we have these character sheets, is because it lets us image prompt with the characters to make it much faster for us to create reliable turnarounds, especially reliable poses and results. Because that Niji6 is very literal. It'll basically take whatever you've provided here and do its best to give some variety to that. But the more we can nail the character ahead of time, the better. So let me go ahead and make sure I have the right one selected here. I want to get rid of that little bit of blue that's there. Boop. And then boop. Okay. There we go. All right. Let's take a look at what you guys suggested. All right. Who is this character? We have Alia from Hill Garden. Backstory: born in a small coastal town, Alia spent her childhood sketching sea creatures, collecting old trinkets from the beach, and listening to old vinyl records her mom kept from the 80s. Her mother, a marine surveyor, was rarely home, but his rare visits were always full of stories about far-off places. Maybe that's where her reckless streak came from. Who knows? Ooh, I like that a lot. Let's see, what other submissions we got? Tara. Young, intrepid storm chaser. She doesn't care about danger to get the best shot of the biggest thunderstorms. Catching a rainbow inside of an eye of a cyclone was her greatest achievement. Ooh, I like it. Let's see. I think I saw one more. I think it probably was Legal Beal. It's like, she looks like an Emily. Yeah. Okay. You know what? I think I'm going to go with maybe Mags, the friendly camp counselor. Ooh, I like it. I think I'm going to go with Alia. I think Hillgarden's submission is it gives me the most inspiration. It reminds me of a few films as well, so I think I can work off of that. Let's do Alia. So let's first go to our sheet here and write our character name on here so that everyone knows who it is. This is Alia Fern, and I'll make sure it's not written in Comic Sans. That might be a little bit of a. It's not a spoiler in any way, but there's the next Sage and Michael comic revolves around Comic Sans. But let's go ahead and grab this and say Alia Fern. Okay, and let's now say she is. Okay, I want to make sure that this description is in the character portal submission, but we don't need it for this one. We can just go ahead and put this in the middle like that. I'm going to crunch down this character sheet to just what we need, because, why not? We'll go ahead and slap this in like that. Okay, good. And put her name right here. That looks good. Okay. We now have a character sheet for Alia. Let's go ahead and compress that all down to one layer. I use Smart Objects for that. Okay. And now I'm going to copy this entire canvas here and open up the character portal. All right. So inside of the Gnarly Studio server, you'll find the character portal, and we're just going to submit that right here. Yes, it does. I am familiar with this with the Comic Sans Easter egg with Google. Yes, if you if you type Comic Sans, Google just spits everything else out in Comic Sans for you, which is hilarious. But let's go ahead and hit new submission for Alia. So new post, and I'm gonna just paste the image of the character sheet that we have. And now we grab from Hill Garden, Alia Fern. And then I'm going to say that we copy the backstory here. And I'm going to put it in quotes so that it's kind of a code here. We'll just say that this is the backstory of her, like you wrote. And then for the prompt that we had made with her, I just want to see if there's anything that I need. We'll grab from Gompasta here. And this is the prompt. There we go. And this is all we really need to get this character started. But we want to make sure that we click a couple of these tags to make sure that if anyone else is like kind of doing something similar, they'll quickly find Alia. So I wouldn't say that this is either a sci-fi, fantasy, or western. I'm going to say that this is a slice of life. So let's grab Slice of Life, which is a slice of pizza. And this is a character design. I'm not going to say that she's a villain or a monster or anything like that. I think just a character design and a slice of life story makes the most sense with what's happening here inside of the backstory. So let's go ahead and hit post. And now Alia is officially inside of the character portal. Woohoo! So we can update this as we need, because we are eventually going to create individual images of her that, will probably make better references. But this is everything we need to get started here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to we'll just grab the sheet itself, copy image address, and then inside of VC Create, I'm going to give her a scene. I'm just going to give her something based on the description of the backstory we have here. If you do want to embellish on this backstory, feel free to use any like LLM you want to do in order to quickly expand on her, create a full script, whatever you want to do. It's amazing what we can do with AI nowadays. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically try to get her into a shot that I can animate. So let's go ahead and first paste --cref and then paste the link to the character sheet. I'm just going to do the full character sheet for now. It doesn't give us nearly as accurate results, but I am going to do it just to get us this moving forward. I want to see how reliable the sheet is by itself. It could also incorporate her name into the prompt. So we're going to try this first and then isolate the specific images later. So let's go ahead and say that this is, let's see. She is, let's say that she spent her childhood sketching sea creatures. So let's say that she is sketching. Let's say that she is brown hair anime girl sketching sea creatures on the beach, and hit an aspect ratio of 4:3 because I want to push that retro anime as much as possible here, guys. And let's go ahead and hit submit on this. Well, hold on. Before I do, it's pretty easy to just write a prompt and get like a result that kind of looks like what we want to do. But let's describe the medium that we're also doing here. So I'm going to say that this is a retro anime. Let's give it a time period. A retro 1980s anime depicting anime film. Let's do anime film. She needs to understand a thing or two. I see Enid here. What do you got going on here? Ooh. I love the expressions too. It's very like straight, right? Like she's not over exaggerating. She's not doing anything too loudly. I like that though. It means that performances can really lean on the voice actress as opposed to the animation taking all the weight. So this is really cool. I dig it. Good job, Enid. But let's do the retro anime film depicting a brown-haired anime girl sketching sea creatures on the beach. And I'm already going to do one where we drop the character weight just a little bit because I expect that we're going to get well. You know what? No. Let's go. Let's just go with what we got here. Let's see what we got. Oh, that's so cute. But we need to describe her rainbow outfit, though. So let's go back to the character portal, and we will grab from the portal entry the description of her. But I do not want to write full length, straight on anime character design. We'll just do a bob haircut, blue eyes, wearing a brown coat, and white T-shirt with stripes, with a rainbow stripe on it. So let's go ahead and hit reroll on this, and I'm going to just add her character description to the end of the prompt. I think the loop function, Enid's kind of tapping on that a little bit. The loop function actually lets us make comics or animated motion graphic comics very easily. Because think about it. If you have an animated scene with a limited amount of time because of like file sizes, downloads, whatever, if you do make some long animated thing, you're going to have to make that a video. You can't make that a graphic, a motion graphic because it's just too big of a file. But if you use loops and you create this kind of condensed moment that can go on and on and on and on, then you could have a long dialogue scene and not have to animate the whole thing. It's just a really good loop of the character talking. Honestly, that's probably a wonderful way to make long form loops. I still don't have a solid prompt for loops. You can just hit the loop button. It'll just do it now. Hyphen loop. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and so you can see that the description. Yeah, but the camera does weird things 60% of the time. Yeah. If you want to lock the camera down, it's kind of harder to really say, hey, don't move the camera. I would definitely want that as a feature at some point, that we just get like a static keep background static or something like that. But for the most part, I think for this that it should be fine. At least for getting those scenes, like a little bit of camera motion ain't the end of the world. But we could always fix it later too. So we can see here that when we start to describe the character, it will do its best to force those descriptions of the character, even if it doesn't make sense with the scene. Like, look how she is no longer drawing on her canvas. She's drawing in the air beside it here. If we added a little bit of chaos to this, right, then we might get a little more dynamic of an angle, or just the shot might be a little more interesting. So let's add -C and then 15 to this. We could go higher, but I'm curious what 15 will do. I want to see from you guys also the stuff you guys want me to animate, right? So if you do have any images that you want to see animated and you don't want to spend the credits to do it, just post it inside of VC Text here, and we'll animate your images. All right, so this is classic Niji6 stuff where the characters are repeating a bunch inside of the results, right? She just drew herself. It's also a bit odd to be wearing a coat on the beach, right? But we could say that this is like, what if we make the scene make sense for her to be wearing that outfit? Okay, so let's say that this is a retro 1980s anime film depicting a dark and moody. Let's say that this is a. I want to describe this as more of a colder space. Like a dark and moody beach during heavy wind, and then I'll say, we could also add a mood board that would encourage this sort of result. I actually have a mood board that's kind of perfect for making things sort of glum or gloom. So if I go over to Midjourney, and I go into personalize. If you've never used a mood board before, I highly recommend messing with them, especially with version 6 and Niji 6. They just are crazy reliable with version 6. So we have a bunch of mood boards that we've made here, but I have one specifically for my Beyond the Valley series, which is what I also use to make this, by the way, to make this sort of scene, this sort of blue dominance, sort of my blue era stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to create here. and oops, VC create here. And we could see that we didn't really get that sort of mood here. We definitely got her on the beach, but the aesthetic of it is still very much like the character sheet. So let's go ahead and now paste that profile into here. So we can see that it included a profile. I'm going to paste a new one here. So let's copy that from Midjourney here. Where is that? Personalize. Ah, it's up here. Boop, boop. Copy that. Here's the profile, and I'll replace this one that's here. It's probably my default profile or my main profile there. But let's go ahead and submit this. Nice trying to do the background on a white sheet too. It does help. It does help when it comes to getting some consistency there. But this is what I was mostly like kind of aiming for here, was that if we use the right combination of mood boards, we can actually encourage her to be in a darker space than what the character sheets. Not entirely sure why this one's being so fussy about turnarounds. It's probably her hand in her pocket, honestly. If you take the hand out of the pocket, I think you would get more reliable results when it comes to really trying to make her look like a 3D model. Because the intersections, like the think about like how 3D models interact with each other. I was thinking it's the pose, since turnarounds tend to be T poses and such. Yeah. Keep her arms more straight, hands visible, and you're gonna get more likely a 3D model look to it. But by incorporating the Beyond the Valley mood board, we got that dark and gloom that we had in the description here. So I really am just trying to justify her jacket, right? So let's try to now re-roll this one more time. But I am going to emphasize more on the prompt as opposed to what's inside of the character reference. So we're going to add CW, which is character weight, and let's just make that 60 here. We could drop it even more, like how Golem went all the way down to 30. But I'm curious what we get. Ooh, Legal Beagle's breaking the rules, though. He went to version 7. So we're gonna continue on with this one here. Let's see what we get. That's way better when it comes to getting this sort of like mood that's here. I like it. But she's not sketching just yet. Let's try to drop it even more. Character weight of 30. Because the fact that she doesn't have this sketchbook in the character reference is heavily influencing the fact that it's not showing up here. So let's give this a go. I don't know what pride flag she's wearing. She's wearing something, though. All right. Sweet. Okay, this is way, way closer to what I was hoping for here in terms of getting her to be like in the scene, holding the paper. Yeah, this is looking good. I definitely want to more aim for sometimes pretty stripes are pretty stripes, right? Yeah, they don't need to be pride. You're right. But let's go ahead and see if we can kind of. I want to see maybe we'll work with this third one here. I'm going to do a variation subtle on this to keep the composition of this image, but I want to see if we can maybe get her to be slightly different, maybe holding a pencil. We could also do very strong just to see if we get a different pose. Take care, Legal Beagle. Thanks for coming. You can see with variation subtle, we are able to get her to slightly change perspectives, looking around, that kind of thing. Minor changes to like her shirt. What did Fun Guy Man say? He's already got some fun stuff animating here. I dig it. Let's see what we get with the variation strong, though. I think I need to describe her holding a pencil at this point. The mood board from Beyond the Valley, though, is certainly making it far more graphic novel-y as opposed to the retro anime, though. So we'll probably we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I'm gonna say now, and you guys are seeing the power of Remix Mode in real time with this, where we're just iterating and making adjustments to this existing prompt instead of saying, "Hey, let's just smash a bunch of random stuff together and hope it all works." Refining your results definitely is huge. So the thing is that because we are describing her shirt and all that kind of stuff inside of this prompt, there's a good chance that that's also what's encouraging her to be just kind of like flatly holding the shirt upwards. So we could reference a different pose from her to get us more in line with kind of the angle, or at least showing what's on the page, because we can't depict what she's drawing if she's holding the page towards herself. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to our character sheet, bam, and we are going to grab the pose that matches our expectations. Okay, so I'm going to say it's this one, boop, right here, and we'll just copy that part of the sheet. Instead of using the whole sheet, we are going to just reference this one pose here. So let's go ahead and paste this into Discord. And now we have this one pose that we can copy the image address on and now replace our character reference with this. We could also add it just by pasting a link here with this, but I want to see what we get just with the correct pose here, and then probably bumping up the character weight to compensate now, because we are not featuring really any of the details that are in this description, but you can see how much it's already turning the character around in an interesting way. But because we're describing her shirt and what's on her shirt, but we don't see her shirt at this pose, I would recommend that we instead get rid of the description of what's on her shirt. So wearing a brown coat is fine, but the rainbow with the stripe across it, we need to get rid of because it's not going to be featured in this particular shot. In order to see what she's drawing, anyway. Because we're encouraging right now that she's, with the exception of this top right one where she's kind of showing her art to you, I definitely want to see if we're able to get the right pose here. Now we need to bump up the character weight to compensate for the fact that we are still looking at her from the front. So let's bump up to, say, something like 80. And then submit that. Feeling cute. Indeed.
I made a mood board out of images that I stole the prompts. I just went through the room and I wanted to see what I would be able to make using the prompts that people put in the room.
Oh.
And, not the room, the VC create. And then I used my images of your prompts and put it into a mood board. So that's the mood board up there, if anybody wants to use it.
Very cool. Let's see, this one right here. Oh wait, no. Let's see. Where is the mood board?
Up above, feeling cute.
Okay. Oh, okay. I see. Nice. Yeah, you can share links. Thank you so much for that, Kinky. You can share links to mood boards that will let other people quickly, save them to their profiles and copy the actual codes. So just hit the copy link here. Let's see, copy message link. Okay, and now I can just load it up inside of my browser here, and we will see her. Oh, nope, that's just going to go to Discord. I need to actually grab this link. There you go. Thank you. There. Submit that. Boom. Here's the profile. This is what she just made. Thank you so much for that. That's awesome to kind of dig into what everyone's doing right now and make kind of like a medium point for everything that we've done so far.
Yeah.
That's great. Super handy too, actually. Let's go ahead and see if we made any improvements trying to get her to turn here. I'm gonna say that we need to see the backside of her. So let's say brown hair, back of. Oh, it's the blue eyes. It's the blue eyes that are encouraging, because to see her face, to see the blue eyes in her face, we're forcing her to turn around because of that. So let's get rid of that. I love this hill garden. This is a pretty fun aesthetic. I see that this is attached earlier too. Yes, hill garden, nice. Yeah, we'll mess with this profile here in a bit. I'm just gonna see if I can get it to turn around just with this with just this, and then we'll adapt that to other profiles. Yeah, look at that. It's doing it. All right, sweet. Okay, this is exactly what I wanted. We want to make sure that she's in this pose. Look, we have some nice talky talk here. So now we'll grab the profile and we'll describe her holding the page. So I'm gonna grab Hillgarden's profile here because they made a lot. They made this character. We're also gonna use their mood board here. So let's copy that, and I will paste it into this prompt. Basically, just replacing this one. Boom. And I see that it is my profile and your profile combined, so that's pretty cool. But I'm going to say that she is depicting a dark, moody beach during heavy wind. I'm going to say she is. Okay, we have her sketching here, holding. Yeah, she is holding a white. She's holding a sketch pad and drawing with a pencil. Sea creatures. Drawing with the pencil, we can see a sea creature on her sketch pad. And it's okay to be redundant. Let's just go ahead and just write that, though. We'll leave it at back of her sketching and hit submit. This is cute. That's pretty funny. I like it. Haha! Awesome! Look at this. Okay, sweet. We're doing pretty good at trying to capture this moment here. I want to try Kinky's mood board next. So let's try this. I will go into her mood board here. I will hit use in prompt, and that's going to give us a M code up the top here. Just copy that and paste it into Discord here, replacing the Hill Gardens. Just to give it a go. We'll compare them and see how they do. It's great having Niji6 back. Yeah, I'm happy to see you guys all enthusiastic about that. Fungi Mancer animating this one. Oh, very cute. Yeah, you can actually see there's something on her page too. That's cool. Okay, all right. I do like this one more for kind of fulfilling the scene better as an animated film. Like Hill Gardens has a lot of really cool, stylistic effect to it, like these panels, these borders and whatnot. I imagine the mood board has like comics in it or otherwise a bunch of floating images. So with this one here, we're getting more of our animated film, which is going to be important when we start animating it. So this is looking really good. Let's try to see if we can use the first one here. And I'm just curious if we're able to get anything to be visible on her page, on the paper here. I just want her to be like in actively drawing, right? So this is close. We can in-paint the pen to be facing the correct direction here. And we might want to change the composition of this image in order to kind of give her a subject to be drawing, right? But I really like I do like the expression on the second one more than the first, but we're gonna go with the first one here just because it's kind of holding in the right direction. So let's go ahead and uppers this, and I'll also be working off of the stuff that you guys send in. So, this is cute though. Lolo going hard here. Yes, please feel free to expand on her however you wish. So you can see though we're getting this sort of like frayed aesthetic on the side here, and I'm just gonna warn you guys right now, this is fine for images, but when it comes to video, this is the last thing you want. You do not want this makes no sense for there to be on a video unless we're looking back in time and we're seeing some attempt at doing scratches on film or crusty old film, right? we're not doing anything like that. And if we ran the video on top of this, we're going to see this kind of be static elements or otherwise do weird stuff. Instead, I think Lolo's really works here because it doesn't have any of that framing, any of that flutter that's around it. So whenever you're making something with the intent of video, you really want to get results that are like this and lean towards that completely. So I'm going to grab Lolo's now. This is a real group effort getting all this done. So let's go ahead and grab Lolo's and submit this. So we started with Beyond the Valley. We went to Hill Garden's combination of the two, and now we have this one from Lolo. And I'm curious what this is gonna do. Ooh, yeah, this is fun. It is again, Nixie. That is cool. That is cool. I want to see what because this is going to be really good for making like dynamic graphic novels, right? Grabbing Lolo's in a prompt would make you bonked. Yeah. But look at this. Okay. All right. So I think this is way better when it comes to trying to get her to be framed in a way that I think is interesting without adding a bunch of like stuff to it. Like her clipboard here looks pretty cool. Let's go ahead and get this third one up here. I just worry that this sort of burnt image, like a lost image in the trash. I found this old picture kind of effect. That is gonna look real weird in video. I'm warning you guys of that now. Look at that little turnaround. Oh, that's cute, Enid. I always love how when the characters are speaking during these turnarounds, it just works. You know. It's a good reference too. That's awesome. Good job. Okay, so we have the backside of her. What is this? That's cool. I like the sketches of her in the back, like as if it was actually trying to sketch her. But what we need to do is we need to make this look like a clean frame. There is still some of this kind of gunk on the edges and whatnot, and it's probably just because of the prompt we're encouraging because of the dark and moody, right? So we're going to hit vary region. And I am just going to select everything that shouldn't be in this in terms of like making an animated film. So I'm going to get rid of all this sort of junk that's here by selecting it. If we need to, we'll get rid of the mood board in order to force the aesthetic to be a little different. But I think for now, this should be fine with this selection here. There's a couple of ways you can kind of get Midjourney to just do things for you without having to get into really any descriptions. We're just kind of filling space here without doing anything too dramatic. So we can actually just put in the bare minimum, which is to do what we call a void prompt. Quote, just 2 quotes, and then hit submit. What this is going to do is it activates a slightly different area of latent space, and that area is text driven and tends to just kind of give us a good patch or a good band-aid to get things cleaned up whenever we see that sort of like covering the image, sort of like framing or debris, right? I will oftentimes use a void prompt just to patch things up, to fix things, and it works on everything. Like I've done it on anatomy, I've done it on all sorts of different subjects. But you can see here, it's got most of it gone to the point where I think we can up-res just the first one, and it's good. We don't have our pencil in the shot, but I want to see if we can maybe encourage this to make the sea creature that whatever we depict here on the side. So let's go ahead and now do custom zoom. Should I go to the website to make this, to expand on this even more? Yeah, let's do it. Let's go to the website so that you guys can see this with a little more powerful of a tool. So I'm at midjourney.com. I'm just going to expand this to create a new sea creature that should be in this scene. So let me re-roll this really quick. Boom. Reroll. I'm so addicted to Midjourney. My God. Not reroll. Refresh my browser to get all the most updated things. If you do that, if you do stuff like if you're prompting stuff inside of Discord and then you go to the website and it doesn't show your images, you just need to refresh the browser and then it will show you everything that you've made in Discord, as long as you own it. So now let's go to edit, and I am just going to expand on the canvas here. And we can hit 16:9 if we want a more modern aspect ratio. And then I'm going to just in-paint a little bit of this water here to give us something to work on top of. Because if we do like a clean line, there might be a chance that it creates a frame or a border. So I tend to roughen up the edges a little bit, especially with older versions of Midjourney. Roughen up these edges and you'll be happier with the result. So now let's say that this is a sea creature emerging from the water. Emerging from the water. And we need to get rid of the character reference because we're not making her anymore. We're making a sea creature that she's drawing. So let's say that we have to get rid of character weight, and that should be good. We should be good to work off of that. We're still using the profile from who made that profile? Who was it again? I forgot who made this one. I'll look it up here in a minute. Sorry. But we're going to look at what sort of results we get off of this sea creature. And yeah, we didn't really get... We got a little bit of like a tornado sort of thing, but I really want to go for a proper creature here. So let's give us a little more creative space for Midjourney to work with. So I'm going to go into the editor here again, hit edit, and I'm just going to give myself plenty of this ocean space here for it to maybe add like an octopus or whatever. We could be very specific on what sea creature we want to see here. We could say sea creature in the water. Let's do a massive sea creature. Probably going to be a giant squid. For Rhapsody's sanity, I don't recommend a giant shrimp. She will eventually look back on the stream and then be very disappointed if it ends with this just making giant shrimp again. But let's see what we got going on here. More shrimp, got it. Yeah. Oh, did I? Let's see. Oh, I did it again. I included her character reference. Let's go ahead and go back. Let's click on edit here, this edit button. I'm going to hit edit. Oops, no, that's not what I want. Why is this fighting me? Go to editor here. There we go. Get rid of her character reference. That's what I did wrong. Forgot to do that. It's the massive sea creature in the water. And if we need to, we can describe it further as like she's looking at a giant sea creature or whatever. But I think this should be fine. We just need to make sure we get rid of her character reference. All right. I'm going to re-roll this one 2 or 3 times, and then I'll bring this back into VC Create for you guys. Quicksand? She's falling into quicksand. That's funny. Let's see. Which one do I like? This is not a sea creature. It's a robot crab. Let's do... I kind of like the silhouette of this because I don't know what it is yet. I kind of like the fact that we don't know. But I'm going to re-roll this one more time. I do like the robot crab, though. What is this guy here? Interesting. It kind of looks like he has... Let's expand on this guy here because it looks kind of interesting. He's got arms. So it could be kind of funny to see if we can expand on this. And we need to make sure we clean up these rocks a little bit because that looks a little funky. She's going to be recruited by the undersea the undersea league. And I'm just in-painting with the exact same prompt. I'm just experimenting to see what sort of results come off of this. I like this. Kind of reminds... It definitely reminds me of some Zelda stuff there. Let's do that. Let's grab this one here. And then we'll clean up the stuff that doesn't belong in a film. So any sort of hallucinated text we'll get rid of. And also this weird disc thing we'll get rid of too. Okay. And it's in the water, so we could probably do a little bit of a fray there and call it a day with this. We could say that she was drawing a little crab, and then this guy comes out, and he's just like a monstrous version, a humanoid, like, you know, mutation of him, right? So we could set this up in a fun way. I started off by saying this is slice of life, and we already have a giant sea creature, or it's a monster, because I said massive, right? Because I really wanted it to be kind of in the distance there and big. But we'll go ahead and upscale this. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday. I'm having a great time. I think this is super fun to be digging in the EG6, but I'm also just excited for going to Chicago next week, and just it's gonna be a really great weekend. Also, it won't be next week, but the week after that, new Sage comic drops. It'll be in at least 3 parts. At least 3. I don't know if I'm gonna get to the 4th one in time, but we have at least 3 parts. So it'll be exciting for you guys to dig back into that series. But let's go ahead and see which one we like more, the creative or the subtle. I think the subtle one, actually, the creative one gives us a little more details. I like this. Yes. Okay, we'll go with this. Okay. Now we do have the choice here of trying to get a drawing on her page that kind of looks like the creature that she's maybe illustrating here prior. So let's say on the page itself that there is an illustration of a crab. Okay. We might need to get rid of the mood board for this one, but we'll see. Illustration of a crab on her sketch pad. Pag. Okay, and we'll just submit this. Now, you can dynamically change the versions as needed, okay? Which is important when you talk about trying to create certain spaces. EG6 is very flat. You'll get plenty of distance, plenty of like space to look by default. But at the end of the day, it's making a cartoon that's largely flat. So that means is that sometimes you need it to understand space a little better, have a better idea of depth. And version 6 is actually better at that than EG6. So when you combine it with a profile, you oftentimes end up in a position where you can kind of get away with both, where you can have a profile or a mood board that is very anime or very drawn, and then apply that to a version 6 prompt instead of an EG6 prompt to kind of get around that limitation. So let's add version 6 to this prompt, to this edit, so that we can hopefully get it to recognize that this is a piece, that there's meant to be a drawing on this piece of paper here. So I'm going to hit submit. And we'll see what we get. So you can see with EG6, it kind of just puts something there. It didn't really give us any sort of drawing of a crab at all. But let's see what version 6 did to accomplish this at all. And it just gave me a blank page. That's okay. That's okay. It is something that we sometimes we run into these walls and we just figure out another way to do it. And the easiest way for me to do it is just to superimpose a drawing of a crab on there. But for now, let's just say that we've got this scene here. We have a couple different ways that we can create image prompts, or just like images that would be pairing with this. We could also just run it as a video and see what happens, but we don't see her. We don't see the front of her at all with this. So if we run this as a video, guess what's going to happen? It's going to randomize everything that is not visible into this shot right now. Instead, this makes a lot of sense as an end frame. We can use this as a style reference by dragging and bringing it up to the bar up here. But I'm going to do this inside of VC Create for you guys. So let's first, I want to copy this over and select this one here. There. Okay. I think I should be able to copy the job ID from this one. So let's job ID, because I didn't use the external editor for this. And go to VC Create. There's a lot of stuff I bet I got to catch up with on VC Create, but I'm going to, for now, just scroll on down, hit /show, and that'll bring up the current result that we have. There we go. And now I'm going to right click on that, hit copy image address, and I'm going to use that as a style reference. --sref, and then paste it. This will let me not have to like use the profiles as much, not have to memorize like certain elements of the prompts. If I basically am going, yes, I like this shot. Oh, hey Lux, good to see you. Thanks for coming. Awesome. We have a lot of really great people here today, and Snoopy too. There's a lot of great people here. Okay, let's go ahead and use this as a style reference. And now we're going to get her to that's a cool shot. I like her. I like that one. Let's grab I do love these a lot. That's from Hillgarden too. Awesome. I want to see what your links are here. So let's click on this link here. That's her sheet. What's your style reference here? Oh, that's very different. Very cool. It definitely is creating the background vibe that's really moody and good. But I'm gonna use this in order to try to create an adjoining scene for this. So I'm gonna try to now copy her character reference. So we have a style reference of the image that we're going to use as our end frame. And now I have included also her character reference here. I am now going to try to create a 16:9 face front of her with their sketch pad. So let's set the aspect ratio to 16:9 because we can always make it 4:3 later. I'm going to do 16:9. And then I'm going to start the prompt off by saying that she is anime girl sketching. We're going to also say that this is a retro 1980s anime, because we had that earlier. Retro 1980s anime depicting a girl sketching on a cold beach day. Let's say cold, foggy beach day, because that doesn't look like a blue sky to me at all. So let's go for that on a cold, foggy beach day. And if you really want to get specific, like I've talked about this in my early tutorials, describe the weather, describe the scene, describe the mood. If you really want to evoke a certain mood, you just describe the kind of weather that you're experiencing. If you want it to be glum and moody and sad and whatnot, just make it rain. Make it rain! And then you'll be good. But for the most part, I think this should be good for a cold, foggy beach day. Yeah, let's go ahead and hit submit, and then we'll start adjusting parameters as needed. She's very much still standing in that pose because the character weight's at so high. But I at least in these results from Hillgarden here. But this is looking pretty good. Okay, sweet. This is exactly what I wanted. All right. So we have her surprised and looking over at this scene. Now the thing is that we need to actually describe her shirt at all in order to make sure she's consistent in the video. Okay. So let's go ahead and grab from earlier the character description. So let me just scroll right here. Okay. So where is... Yes, a rainbow TV shirt. Okay, there's a couple of things that were added there that I'm gonna scroll back on. Let's see if we can. In fact, we just can refer back to the character portal. That's the easiest way to do this. So I'll come into the character portal. There is her description here. I'll just copy that. I want to try running this, but now with the addition of describing her a little bit here, particularly her shirt. And we'll go ahead and hit submit on this. You know what? I'm even going to make one where the only thing I do is I add the description of her shirt instead of like the redundant stuff like her brown hair and whatnot. Let's just say that she is wearing a white shirt. Lolo, what do you get? Some lo-fi vibes going? Yeah. That's cute. I love the coffee drink, actually. It's all very in perspective. This came out great. Good job. Also, good job to Midjourney, too. Okay. You can see that we have the same thing from before because now we've included a description of her shirt, right? It pushes her to the front, which is what we needed to have her shirt be visible. But I also don't want to like break the world too much or anything like that. So this fourth result is really, really close. We just have an older over the shoulder with the character, and I see Draxler is already going hard with one of the 4-3 prompts with the monster coming out of the water. That's cool. But I'm going to go with this fourth result here. And let's go ahead and do a variation strong to see if we could change this composition slightly so that there is not an over the shoulder of another character that's there. Otherwise, we just in paint. But the reason I know that I can do a variation strong on this is because I just need her to kind of move a little bit in the scene. I want her silhouette to change. Variation subtle, the silhouette rarely changes. So you could see that she has certainly moved around in the shot. We are definitely getting some cool stuff here. I do like her feet in the water there. We could isolate this to show this more like as a separate scene. But for now, I think I want to just re-roll this one again. It's very common to re-roll a prompts 2 or 3 times to really find the one that really, sends it home for you. I would rather re-roll a prompt than manually fix it, for sure. I think that might sound obvious to some people, but when you have an artistic background like I do, it's very tempting to just go in there and fix things, right? I find it more fun to, or at least more productive, to adjust the prompt in some way that might encourage a result that like wouldn't require manual fixing. So these are all profiles of her, right? And we could encourage it better with maybe a face front, but I think for now, let's try to do a negative weight on ocean so that we get more of a face front shot of her, like almost like from the monster's perspective than anything else. So I'll say no ocean. So yeah, it's beach, but the latent space for the idea of a beach includes the ocean visible. In order to have done this in the past where I'm kind of looking from the water's perspective at the beach, I have prompted for photos from a boat and also cruise. Saying that you take pictures from the cruise, because think about it. If you're on a boat or you're taking a cruise, right? You are looking at the beach, right? So you could take advantage of these sort of commonalities like in people's behavior in order to direct your images better. But for this one, we're just going to hit submit and try to see if we can get just using negative prompting to avoid the beach itself. Or sorry, to avoid the ocean from being visible. And it's not strong enough. The ocean is it just dominates this image. It's also because of the style referencing probably includes an ocean in it. So, but what is interesting about this though is we are getting a kind of like where we can reveal her drawing to the audience, right? And she's holding the pen in the correct direction with this one. So I think what I want to do is I want to take this because I think I'm going to take this third image here. And we're just going to isolate everything that we do not want and then just remove it with vary region using the patching prompt thing that I described earlier. So we're just going to get rid of the entire prompt and replace it with quote, quote. Make sure we also get rid of the character reference because we do want the character to be popping up randomly inside of our voids here. And then I just go ahead and select wherever she's repeating inside of the shot. One of the reasons I like using the character sheets is because the character sheets encourage the same character to show up multiple times inside of the image, which can be really handy when you want to make a static camera shot, right? Because then you can just select your poses and just go from pose to pose to pose. That is one way using end frame to really guide that result. Why are you prompting, Ozzy? Lady Eva. You're more than down to keep doing that. I'm curious to hear why, though. You're welcome to say inside of VC text. You might not even be in here. This is common also with VC Create is that it is an open channel, so other people will be prompting in there. But it's not you, Enid. I'm talking to a person named Lady Eva.
Because Ozzy died, probably.
Yeah, he passed away. So I understand that people are just kind of going to their first channels they see, and they start prompting in there. Okay. All right. So I am. Let's see here. Okay, cool. We got most of her gone. We just need to now select this fourth one here and do that one more time in order to get rid of the last bit of this rock. And that rock is here because there's some shadow and it's encouraging that result to have something there. So let's just select this with a little more room to grab the rest of that shadow and get rid of her. Fitting the sketch, yep, it's not good, but it's a little funny. She hasn't improved her art since she was 5. What a fun result though. They are in there all the time. The ones I try to guide to DMs or better spaces, but they ignore the posts. Of course they do. Yeah, and most people have it privated anyway. It's okay. It's all good. Okay, and that's all we wanted to see. We wanted to get rid of whatever that rock was in the corner. So let's go ahead and upres the fourth one here. And now we are going to start messing with video, I think. We're going to compare our 2 images and go from there. But we have now our start frame. And from way earlier, actually we have it inside of our style reference here. And now we also have our end frame. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit animate. Let's do high motion because we're doing some pretty dramatic camera angles here. We're trying to get her to turn and all that, but it may add too much motion. We'll just give it a go. But I'm going to now hit animate high motion. I'm going to switch sref to the word end, which stands for end frame. And we should be good with the rest of this. I think this will be fine, but we want to describe the scene that's happening inside the video here. We don't have to, right? We could just go with this and it'll be fine, but I'm going to get rid of this profile and then just describe the scene. So let's say that she is brown hair anime girl drawing in her sketchpad as a giant sea creature emerges from the water. Okay. Let's submit this. I'm going to copy the text in case I made anything wrong, and I'm going to hit submit. And now it should... Oh, invalid request turbo mode. That's right. I have to add the word fast. That's why I copy the text. To make sure that if I screw up anything that I'm not considering, hyphen fast, and now I can copy that text again. Submit. And it's animating. And thanks again, guys. I really do appreciate all of your time here. It is something that makes it worth it for me to do this stuff. It's one thing if we just kind of, we're doing our thing and just me yelling into the void, but there's nothing beats having folks to like interact with us and make things in real time together. Especially nowadays when I feel like people are not oddly, they're just... there's a lot of animosity that's around in the world right now, and I think that having a space where we can just have fun and collaborate and make things together is just huge. And the Gnarly Studios server is meant to be that all week long, in between our streams. So if you do like this, feel free to join the server and just hang out with us. We also have something called the show after the show that you're welcome to join. And it lets you come onto the stage and speak to us directly, and just let us know what projects you're doing, let us know what you're up to. And you could see here that Kinky linked it inside of VC Text already. Thank you so much for that. And you could just hop on in and chat with us after the stream. Thank you so much. We're always happy to be here and glad you're here. Oh, thanks, Fungomancer. So, oh, yeah, it's like approaching her here. We got to use some of these shots. Oh, this looks so cool. Let's go ahead and first see what we got here. So the video as kind of expected is chaotic at first. Like we don't really know what it's doing, but this one, the fourth one kind of works, but we really need to experiment with the other parameters first before we decide, hey, okay, let's change things around. So I'm going to hit reroll on this. And I'm going to change it from motion high to motion low. That's usually the very first thing I do. because I usually expect that low motion will just kind of make things a little bit keyframey or not keyframey, like tweeny, like things don't really animate in dynamic ways. But that's not true. A motion low oftentimes creates those more editable shots, the shots that you can like cut together into a longer form thing. Just because that's the nature of film. Like the average video is less than 5, or the average shot between cuts is less than 5 seconds. So Mid-Journey being limited to 5 seconds is not a problem, guys. It really isn't. You can extend it as much as you need to with this, but almost every major motion picture, the shots don't hold longer than 5 seconds for the majority of the shots that are featured in it. So the extend function lets us definitely get more mileage out of the video model here, but it is something I just want to make you all know that is something that's not a real limit. You can go nuts with it. But I do like what Wonderful World of Stuff here. They got a nice turnaround here. Look at that. They got a nice turnaround that they can make a sheet out of. You got a walking animation of her using that white sheet in order to say, hey, give me a background. Give me a scene now. That's awesome. And then you have using that as a reference to, wow, you followed the entire class here. That's awesome. Good job. Wow. And I love the reflections in her outfit. My God, that looks so good. Like seriously, like pay attention to her knee. Like, wow. Okay. Very cool. Wonderful World of Stuff. You nailed it. Oh, look at it. Ooh. I'm getting all squealy about this character now because I love everything about this. Nixie. Frankly, whatever Nixie's doing here, she's doing it all right because like we could easily up-res all these and cut them together end to end and then make something cool with it. So, for example, she's holding the sketchbook. There's a missing pen in her hand. But let's go ahead and grab these two shots as well. We're gonna use them all. We're gonna use all of these. Started from a pick I made today. Oh, that looks awesome. Yes, but isn't it cool that you're able to do this like so quickly? Like, look at that. That's your character. Like, that's the character that's featured in this image. Wow. Very cool. Yeah, and then you got her standing up. Nice. Cool. All right. So first, I before we get back into the video, I just want to make sure she has her pen here, okay? Because you can see there's an empty. It would be kind of funny if she had like a collection of sketches from her father, right? And she's identifying what these creatures are with them, and she thinks that maybe it's a nonsense book, like it's a book of like a bunch of wonderful things that don't actually exist. But then one of them says like, "You're so and so's daughter, right? You need to come with me," and like kidnaps her and brings her to Atlantis or something, where her father is like there doing stuff, or maybe he's known. If you really want to make it a wild story, make him a terrorist or something. You know, but yeah. Wait, what reference are you sending here? Oh, yes, that's a good one. That is a good one. Yes. Enid also posted, "This is such a great character." What? Yeah, I think yeah. And like I'm seeing your Calopia pink. Calopia. That's pretty cool. Yeah, you're definitely getting those expressions out of the video too, which is great. Awesome stuff. Yeah. Let's just go to our low motion here. Wow. Okay, we got some really cool breaking out of the water scene, and then obviously the creatures doesn't really make sense, but that's actually not the end of the world for what we're doing here. The reason being is we haven't established what this creature is at all. So why do we care to stick to that creature, right? We could easily cut this video a little early and feature whatever creature or whatever form of this creature is in this video. So it is kind of like it's in reverse, right? But I definitely love this first shot. It just has this whip of action that I really like, and it almost feels more like a Gator character. So let's first up-res this. And it almost seems like she's drawing a dried up coral sea that's been, the tide has been sucked out. Like maybe there's like an incoming typhoon or some sort of tsunami, and she's taking advantage of the fact that the ocean has been receded for like 15 minutes so she could like go in where the water normally is and sketch things that are out that are normally unavailable to her. That's the scene I'm picturing here, because of the desolation of the background here. Just reminds me of seeing those temporarily overly tide is out beaches. And you guys know that I love that tide is out prompt. But let's go ahead, and we have this video here. I'm going to download it for now, and we'll probably cut it into something a little later. But I want to upscale these because they're very, very cute. Upscale this. And we were going to make that edit here. Let's go ahead and do this edit. Grab her pen here and just I'm gonna just have it fill in automatically with quote quote, and then get rid of her character. No, we can keep it in there because we're still referencing the character. That's fine. We can just keep that in there. All right. So let's see. Looking good. We got a bunch of up-res, and I see that we got plenty of this stuff. Let's scroll back down here. There we go. All right, here is our quick edit of getting rid of that kind of pen shadow that wasn't there. I'm gonna go with the second one. Are you animating? Yeah, animating this more illustrated style. Yeah, or like quick sketch style. You could notice here. This is something that I do with almost every video model that I output now. I will get rid of any of the expressive elements of the what I'm going to say is a we really should come up with an official word for this stuff, but it's these emotive graphic like anything like I would just say that it's like motion lines, but it's so much more than just motion lines. We need to get rid of everything that evokes a flat graphic because it's going to attach to the character in a way that reminds me of anchoring things in like 2D and 3D animation software. Right now, it looks like her exclamation marks are anchored to her head movement. So when her head rotates, those exclamation marks move with her. We never see that in animation. That's not how it works. The static flies, right? Exactly. The best thing to do for this is before you animate the video, if you really want to make sure that you don't like waste credits or anything like that, because it's going to take a bunch of time to fix this stuff manually, it would be way easier to just edit those out and then add them in later. Because that effect usually is just the static image of an exclamation mark hovering over beside her head for a couple frames, as opposed to being a static element that'll always persist. So let me put it this way. Is the thing that you're trying to include in the image persistent, or is it an effect? Is it something that will just for a moment be in the image and then disappear? You probably want to get rid of it and then describe that in the video prompt rather than the image prompt. And this is true for any effect. So if you have a bunch of particle effects like embers on a fire or flying in the air, get rid of all the embers. You could keep the flames, but get rid of all the embers that are in the air, and then say that there are embers floating from the fire in the video prompt. It's going to be so much better if you do that. I promise you. Okay. So let's go ahead, and now that we have these, okay, I want to show you guys what it's like to go from scene to scene here. So I'm going to say that she's like investigating the coral, right? That's here. So let's go ahead and I'm going to start with this frame here, okay? So we will grab the other frame, right-click, copy image address. And we are going to set animate low motion. I don't want a lot of action happening here. I'm going to get rid of everything except for motion low. And I'm going to make sure I include hyphen fast, because otherwise it'll fail out on me for turbo mode. And now I'm going to write hyphen end and then paste the link to the end frame there. This is a bit more intuitive on the website. You could just drag and drop things on the website rather than, remembering parameters. But it is handy for getting it right. So let's go ahead and say that she is exploring a dried up coral reef, and referring to the small booklet in her hands. Let's just say that. Let's just say what this is, have her describe the scene, and then if the animation doesn't feel right, it's because we haven't included the right medium. We haven't said that this is a retro anime or something like that. I just want to see what this does on its own, and then we'll go from there. And I'll check out what you guys have written here in VC Text in just a sec. I'm going to make sure I copy this prompt so I don't have to rewrite it if something goes wrong. In the whole procedure of remembering parameters and copying text and doing all that stuff, you can avoid all of that just by using the website. Okay? So if you go to the website and you start making videos and stuff like that, you can literally just drag and drop things that you need. There's Rhapsody on the way to the airport running around, which I always thought was a funny idea of a bird girl needing to go to the airport in order to fly to the United States. But when I really think about it, that would be incredibly tiring to go over the Atlantic to do. So if you really want to be lazy about it, not lazy, if you just want to relax and go on vacation, I don't think you want to physically flap your arms all the way across the Atlantic. It kind of makes sense that she's flying in a plane, okay? But yeah, I got some fun results working off of a couple mood boards from you guys. But what I'm going to do now is come back into Discord here. We almost have this part of the video done. What I'm kind of thinking about is that she's exploring the coral, checking out what's there, taking an opportunity to look at what's around. Ooh, okay, yeah, we have her doing stuff. Look at that. Wow. Let's make this a bit bigger so we can see. It kept the backgrounds persistent too in a really interesting way. Now, there's what you really, wow. Yeah, no, I the Parent Trap or whatever movie, not Parent Trap, whatever movie that is. I remember the actors more than I remember the movie name, but the Owen Wilson, wow, was something that in my high school was like what we heard all the time. Like if you're, wow. Like in the background, we were laughing because there was someone who just said that down the hallway.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
That also ages. It sets my age for you guys. But we're mostly looking for here when we analyze these slower scenes, like these little more emotive kind of character building scenes. What we want to find is, one, we want to exclude anything that has weird sort of errors or problems, right? So the first thing that I noticed is that the third and the fourth result have impossible movement. First off, look at the background in the third one. You can see this thing slides and moves away. It's not good. But if with this one, look at how her spine bends around at this moment right here. You do not want that sort of twisted anatomy when you're working with this stuff, because it's much better to have less motion than more motion when you want to really make a scene that people are going to, identify with. Also, I want to avoid having to re-roll things a ton for you guys because it's a little boring to just watch the same thing again and again. But the first result, I think, is great. I think actually it has a lot of things going for it. There's a little bit of weirdness when it comes to the lighting, switching the lighting from the left to the right of her. This is something where if you're editing on a project, you'll be like, oh, okay, it's not a big deal or whatever. That there's kind of you could argue that there's a tunnel of light in her hair that's now first it's on the left side of her hair and now it's on the right side of her hair. What's better for this is probably to reverse one of the images, okay? So, oh, look, it's Bricky. Oh, I love Bricky. She's so damn cute. I can't wait to continue the fantasy series after I got the next Sage comics out, guys. I'm going to be making much shorter form comics moving forward for the Sage and Michael comics, so I won't be diving into those. I spent most of this summer working on a 3 to 4 part deep dive into an event that happens later this month. So I'm excited for it, but I'm eager to change. I'm eager to do something else. So let's go ahead and first address the fact that the lighting is shifting from both of these images here. So I'm going to go first. I will open up this image here. And then where's the second image here? Nope, not that one. We'll just pop back up to the original prompt here. Okay, let's compare these two really quick because I want to identify the problem that I found here. So let's open that up real quick. Over here, copy image address, and then grab it here. Okay. The main thing that we need to address is the fact that the point of light kind of makes sense that it's coming from the left to the right with her hair. But what I'm noticing here is that, at least in the video output that we got, it tend to want it to reverse her in an odd way. Like, I think that it would be better if we were actually to edit this and remove that highlight that's in her hair. But I want to see what happens if we reverse this image here. So basically we're getting her not to turn around, but instead taking advantage of the fact that this is a symmetrical character. You will shoot yourself in the foot a little bit if you have asymmetrical or heavily asymmetrical characters. Just by the nature of AI stuff, it really wants the symmetry to be there. It'll just make your life way easier if the character is symmetrical, but it's not required. In fact, it kind of shows your skill set more if you do make an asymmetrical character. Michael, for example, from the Sage and Michael comics, he is asymmetrical on purpose because I kind of use it like a signature. But let's go ahead and take this image. I'm going to hit copy. And very, very quickly inside of Photoshop here, I'm actually going to make a reverse of this image. Very, very easy to do. Obviously, you can do this with any editing program, transform, flip horizontal, and then copy this. If she was asymmetric in any way, this wouldn't work. But for this, it'll be fine. So now we will hop ourselves back over to VC Create, and we are going to start off with this image. And where did that image? There it is. Okay. We're going to copy this image address here, and we will rerun this prompt, reroll. But this time I am going to, in fact, can I include a new starting image off of a reroll? I've never actually done that now that I'm thinking about it. To set a new starting frame. Let me do how I think you're supposed to do it, which is to add video and then the link. And get rid of this video 1 here. And make sure the parameters start with video. I think that's how we're going to do it. Video goes at the end. Oh. Let's go ahead and just add, okay, fast is on there. Link goes at the beginning like a normal image prompt. Okay. Thank you. That's what I needed to know. There we go. And copy that. Let's see if that errored out at all. It did. Cannot use image prompt with a parent job. That's all I needed to know is the parent job. And we'll just create a new /imagine and then submit that. This is why I copy and paste everything. Tentacles. That's all I'm going to say. Tentacles. Thank you so much for linking that, Kinky. 10 tickles. 10 tickles are giving you 10 tickles. What about copycats? All right, let's see how this goes with the reversed image, because I feel like that's going to give us a little bit of a better result. It does help to not have your character like flipping or reversing directions a ton. Like if you basically mirror the character to be facing a different direction, is a very good chance that you get kind of like weird like movements, like what we saw earlier where she like almost felt like a piece of paper and flipped around. If you want to avoid that entirely, just have the characters kind of in the same eye line, same direction on the frame, and it will give it just character, behavioral stuff, as opposed to trying to dramatically move in the scene. So it looks like it's working. So let's see what we got off of this one here. Oh, did I go from the same image back and forth? I did. Look at that. We're going to a mirror, and look what it did. It created this sort of like line, this hard line, reversing that to that side of the image. Okay, so this is really funny. Let's fix this by using the correct frame because I am copying these two images here. If I do this one and I open this one, yep, that's exactly what happened. So let's now grab the correct image. That's really funny. Is it this one? No. It is that one. Okay. Copy this image address. Okay. And just to confirm, yep, that's a different start. So let's go ahead and hit reroll on this and then paste that link up here. That should be it. While that's submitting, I'll confirm. Yep, that should be it, because that's a different starting frame than this one. Okay, cool. Well, that's what happens when you accidentally use the same one. Who is this gnarly guy? Yeah, right? Who am I? I have no idea. So what's cool about this scene, though, is that we're going to be able to have her, like, identifying things, right? Kind of exploring. Maybe she's just, like, super excited to see that one piece of coral that's on the ground, right? Maybe it's something that she can refer to in her book, but or maybe she's adding to the book. That then something big pops out of the water. We are coming close to what is it? I normally end these streams about 6:30, 7 o'clock or so, but we do have something called the show after the show that you're welcome to join and hop on to the voice chat, hang out with us, talk. I want to see all the derivatives of this character that we've created here as well. So please submit that to the Gnarly Studios server or the character portal. Thank you so much for that, Kinky. And we'll be able to explore this character further moving from here. And we did this entirely by just dragging an image or taking one character from a result that we liked. And then we were able to build this entire story with her. And it's just amazing. Okay, so... what is happening at this? Okay, this is something different. This is from Snoopy. Snoopy's end frame is like a mirror in a stage performance of Who's Rock Opera, Tommy going to the mirror with Anne Margaret. Okay, this is a mostly nonsensical prompt in my opinion, but I do like the fact that she's looking at a mirror version of herself as like, the last one here. That's pretty cool.
What do you mean? That's not like what you talk about at the dinner table every night?
My dinner table, quote unquote, is my couch and I'm watching TV. Okay, all right. So I did something again wrong, but nothing major. I just didn't pick the right end frame now. So we're going from, this is what makes it hard about working with Discord, is that we have to visually confirm everything. So I need the reverse of this particular image here. Okay, so that's up here. That's what I copied and pasted and did all my reverse work on. There we go. Copy here. I'll check out what you made here in a minute, fun guy. But I'm going to copy this, re-roll this, making sure that it is my prompt. Yes. And now I'm going to swap the end frame to be the correct end frame. Paste. Submit. And now let's check out what fun guy submitted here. Ho-ho lions are coming on the sketchbook. Ho-ho. Oh. You got her drawn. Yeah, you did. Little close-up of her art. Let's see. That's pretty fun. I like that. That's pretty cool. Well, I would definitely do a little bit of work to make that, but it's very, very cool, though. It does feel like it's a reverse, though. You know what I mean? Like the way the water moves and all that stuff, it just feels like a reverse. Sippy sippies. Yeah, and this is also just a common thing where you see the same character popping up again and again, and for some reason they're all SWAT at this point, probably because of something you've written in the prompt. But the fact that you see the same character repeating, just extremely common with almost any AI video. It's one of the reasons too, by the way, that Sage and Michael both wear ties is because it's way easier, way more consistent for me to have characters that are wearing uniforms or otherwise similar outfits. So if you want to give yourself easy mode, like I did, you could give your characters uniforms that they all go to the same workplace, or maybe they're all camp counselors or whatever it is, right? As long as they're wearing a uniform that's matching and you're more relying on their silhouettes being different as opposed to their details, you're far more likely to have more fun with this stuff than if you have elaborate differences in the outfits and attire. This is exactly what I was looking for, though. Now let's take a look at the correct order of things. She is moving through the frame. We don't get any weird flip motion. The light makes sense in her hair. Look at how the light changes on the first image, on the first result here. Perfect. Perfect, 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 perfect. She even opens the book revealing something that's drawn on it. That is amazing. Okay? And I do like the fact that this like piece of wood falls on the fourth one, but I always find little nuggets of good stuff in every result, but I really, really want to make sure we get a good one we don't regret later. There's a little bit of background motion in on the first one that I want to address later. I think I could fix that manually. But in terms of whichever one's the most correct, I would say that it's probably the first or the third. I will re-roll this one more time just to see what we get. But I want to already up-res that first one as well. Boop. Okay. We're getting some lumpy sea monsters here. Very, War of the Worlds sort of vibe going on with these creatures here. You might want to like start getting into specific creatures. See what you like there. But I do really like this result. I think this is super cool. We're really trying. I can fix it. Yep. In fact, this one, some animes have weird anatomy. Like my mother, bless her heart, she was like really frustrated with me getting into anime when I was a preteen, when I was like 10 or 11 years old, because I was drawing realism. I was drawing like stuff that was real. And when I got into anime, I immediately started drawing in the styles of these, in these exaggerated styles. And she was just like, that's not real. Like that, like none of that anatomy makes sense. It's unhealthy for someone to be that anorexic and things like that. She'd make comments like that, and I would be like, "But mom, man, I like my cartoons, like that kind of thing." And she had so much trouble with it. She had so much trouble with me, like getting into a bunch of stuff she thought was problematic. But I was just real into anime. I was really into Tenchi Muyo and other like early Toonami stuff. Look at that 3D model. You nailed it. That's a good one. You got all the angles, and you got her with the hands out of the pockets. Finally got a proper turnaround. Wow, this character fought hard. Yeah, it looked like it. Look at how her hair moves too. Like we even have the bump reliably. It's a little thin at points, which is common with this. Like sometimes you feel like there's some paper thin elements, right? Because when you think of a 3D model, sometimes they do have these impossibly thin planes on them. Not literal planes. We're not talking like airplanes. I mean planes as in like planes of graphics, of flat geometry. Sometimes like at certain angles, if you pick the wrong frame with these, you'll get like these impossibly flat and they'll just disappear. So make sure you peruse the frames well and go from there. Definitely post this inside of her character portal, though. That's awesome. Let's take a look at our reroll here. Oops, I rerolled it again. Cancel. Let's take a look. Not as happy with this one. The background moves and shifts around a little oddly because it's really trying to fit that end frame there. So like, I think the first one we got is probably the best just to do an extend. There's a little bit of the background's perfect on the second one, but there's a weird click for her when it wants to flip the light source again. So let's just do an extension off of this result here. And then I'm going to describe this extension as being the giant monster appearing. And we could add an end frame for that too. But let's see here. Yeah, let's just get the let's have it hallucinate a whole new creature for us. Just so that we're not constrained here. I want to take this in steps. We are working with 5 seconds at a time here. So I want to say that there is a geyser of water. Let's see. To her surprise, behind her, a geyser of water erupts upward. She turns around. Let's just go with that, and we'll have it hallucinate the rest of it. And yeah, high motion. Let's do high motion on this one, and get rid of the end frame, and then hit submit. I will warn you guys, I should have probably warned this earlier. If you do hit reroll on any of my prompts that have stay fast on it, it will use your fast hours. I think for the video, it's just going to do that normally. But if you're expecting relax mode with a prompt that says fast, you ain't going to get it. It's going to be in fast mode if you do. I troll for you getting some hallucinate a whole new creature. Perfect. Look at him in his cute little flower hat. Look at flower hair. He reminds me of like if reptilian men were in 80s hair bands and they needed hair, they just grabbed a bunch of flowers and wore it on their head. It's like a fashion statement. There you go. It's pretty cool though. We do have an alien mood board that you guys can experiment with to create really wild aliens. If we pop on over to Midjourney here, midjourney.com, I'll go to personalize. And we have it as the Alien World Builder. I'll copy that profile here and give it to you guys inside of VC Create. I'm going to just re-roll I Troll for You's prompt here. Are you already using it, actually? There's a good chance that you are. But I'm just going to paste it. Oh, it's a version 7 too. Let's go ahead and turn that to Niji 6 really quick. Niji 6. I mean, unnaturally thin anime characters are better than other kinds of unnatural aspects that they have. That is true. That is true. I think my mom wasn't really willing to comment on everything. But it is funny, though. All right, to her surprise, behind her, a geyser of water erupts upward. She turns around. Let's see what we got here. So we first start with the original clip that we chose. She's going to explore this. Oh, did it not extend it? Oh, there it is. There it is. It just didn't. Oh, look at that. That is awesome. Hold on a second. It's interesting that it's keeping the golden back of her hair. We might need to describe that she's just a brunette, right? But I like that it showed the sketchbook again. Let's do that. Let's just roll with it. I'm just going to roll with it. Upscale that first one. And now we're going to describe some camera motions to really direct this scene. Extend high motion. And now we're going to say that we snap zoom out. We've talked about this before, that if you're using camera terminology, you're far more likely to get results that you're expecting if you know what those camera terminologies are. A snap zoom, right, is where instead of a shutter zoom where you're rolling the lens in order to slowly zoom in or out, a snap zoom uses a small lever on the side of the camera to snap you into a specific position. So when you think of like every dramatic like moment of suspense where you're quickly punching in or quickly zooming out to the person's face or whatever, that's using a little snap zoom on the side of the camera. So we're going to say a snap zoom out, revealing revealing the ocean behind her. and we could go back to the original prompt and say that we do the snap zoom first, so we see the geyser and the ocean and all that stuff. But I want to see if we can combine both ideas here. Snap zoom out, revealing the ocean behind her. And I'm just going to go with that. I'm just going to, well, maybe we can get a little bit of action going on here. The water of the ocean is extremely turbulent. And then we'll hit submit. What do we got here? Enid, one of Enid's characters running through this field. There's a movie or a game, I don't remember, it's from the 80s. Tunnel Runner or something. I forgot what it's called exactly. But I remember a scene where there's a character running through a tunnel and the camera is twisting around and they're like upside down at a point running through this impossible tunnel. Yeah, that would be a fun tunnel runner game. Right, it would be. I just think that there's like there's some film. I don't remember the name of it, but it is Alien versus Predator game. Yeah, maybe. Let's see here. Ooh, Reveille. I zigged all the anime stuff today. I started to create a Mazinger style character, but ended up back in the fantasy world territory. Of course, all of our stuff does. Liking the idea of a giant knight in the fantasy world too. Too on the nose to call him the Maze Knight? No. That's awesome. It's like a Gundam and a knight mixed together. That's pretty cool. I love it. Okay. Let's get this moving on here. Oh wow. Yeah, our geyser is really coming to fruition here. Let's see if it got the camera motion right though. Loving this. What is this? Muyo, I've been searching for Mermaid Dragon Scar Ball for experience with Serial and Lane with. Oh my god, you're referencing a bunch of stuff that I should know, but I don't. But yes, this is very cute. I love the most exciting part about Midjourney Video for me, okay, guys, is the fact that we are going to bring back retro anime. That honestly, this is not something that I'm like, hey, it would be nice if we saw this before. It is fiscally impossible to fund that. Yeah.
Speaking of retro anime, Alistair showed us the last chapter of her movie the other day, and it was so retro anime. Like it felt like a video that we got back in the 90s, because you know what I mean. Like you had to buy a tape of the anime and then it was dubbed, because the mouths didn't really match up, because the Midjourney doesn't do that. But it felt like there was like a dubbing over it into English.
It's so good.
Really, really cool.
Yeah. I mean, that's so cool to be able to do, like, where you take advantage of the fact that you don't need it to be perfectly synced. You're not doing a simulcast, a modern simulcast. You're doing a retro anime, which means that you could talk over while the characters' mouths are closed, and it's fine. It's fine. Who cares? It works. It looks great. Move on. Keep making stuff. Don't get stuck. Like, that's the key thing.
But it just recreated the vibe, and it was amazing. And
it's so cool.
I just couldn't stop thinking about it. I was like, this feels like a video that I would have bought from Japan and the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
eBay, when eBay first came out, and
yeah, or recorded on your VHS because you caught it and you're like, oh, I want to save this. Like, yeah, like anytime you also incorporate any sort of like a VHS distortion or anything like that, it's always fun too, because it just reminds people of that, and especially if you have the aspect ratio at 4:3, really, really sells it. Like, yeah, you want to have this little bit of blurring, this little bit of classic video. Wait, what is this? 1990s anime video of audio. What is audio video disco? That's such a weird, interesting combination of words for that. Okay, cool. Let's move on here, because we have our little animated scene, and I want to see about the snap zoom. Let's see what it accomplished here. So we have the geyser, and now this should be new. Oh, That's right. Okay, we had this issue before where it didn't repeat it completely. Now let's see what it does. Snap zoom. We snap zoom into her. I think the fourth one might be the closest, but I think they're all a little wacky. We might want to do low motion on this one, as odd as that sounds. We more snap zoom into her, dramatically changing the scene. So let's go ahead and re-roll this, and then switch the motion to low. I do find myself keeping the low motion renders, like actually downloading the low motion renders the most, right? But I do get the most inspired by high motion video. In sense that we can like, oh, it's the princess and her reptilian, the princess 80s band, like an 80s band princess and her reptilian backup. That's great. I do like, of course, hey, I'm a sucker for any kind of lanky, like triangular or sharp-faced characters. Obviously, look at me, right? But this is awesome though. Looks really cool. I love my strange, unusual, weird persons. Okay, let's take a look. I'm curious where you guys are going with this because there's some really fun stuff from y'all. I know Hilgarn's using that. Did Victor just describe this group? Yeah, 100%. Okay, all right, cool. Let's see. Did that video? Okay, it's still processing here. We see that she zoomed out here pretty good. We want to describe what we probably are seeing inside of the snap zoom, right? Like the rest of her scene here, because we have some. It's able to infer a lot based on what we've described already and what's in the images, but we might want to describe it even further. I just love the fact that we are getting into this stuff because what I was saying was that to make anime traditional 2D drawn on paper is just too expensive. It's too expensive today to do, and if it wasn't that expensive, people would be doing it much more often. But the reality is that we have a bunch of digital services to cut down the cost of animation. Not because people want to do that necessarily. There is some quality of life stuff, plenty of quality of life stuff that comes from digital animation. But the love, the heart, the soul of particularly anime is on paper. It is something that to be able to recreate that and be able to experience that with AI is insane. Because we are so close to where this will feel like the animations I grew up with are coming back. And I just love that. I love that so much. I cannot emphasize more that the stuff that we're going to be making over in the Gnarly Studios server is going to be bringing back that love, that emotion that only the greats of anime in the all the way from the late 70s to the early 90s was able to capture. Yeah, awesome guys. And to get this scene better, to get the snap zoom to be right, we really need to describe what's on the beach. We need to describe what we're seeing here. This is a bit of a miss, of course. She's like flying in a ship at some point. But I think at that point, guys, I'm gonna cut it here and start collecting a bunch of these results here inside of the Gnarly Studio server. Thank you so much for linking that. Please join it. We want to hear from you guys and join the show after the show to speak with me directly, to speak with the community directly. We have just click on the voice channel. It's in there. The homework, no homework. All right, yeah, the homework. Well, the thing is, Rhapsody and I are going to be in the same room streaming next time. So I don't actually have anything planned for homework. It's probably going to be really silly when we're doing that stream. So I will say this. I'll say this when it comes to what to bring. I would honestly just start working with this like retro anime style more, because we are going to get to the point where we are making this stuff with our characters constantly. If there's any homework, probably it's going to be focused on making something with a retro anime aesthetic. Just because Rhapsody and I, we both have a huge like love for that. And if we're sitting in the room together making that stuff together, I think it would be quite aligned. It's like I don't want to do like stop motion, which is my specialty, right? I don't want to do stop motion with her because then that would just alienate her, and I don't want to necessarily do like just high fantasy, which would alienate me. So I want to do retro anime. I think that's a great overlap between the both of us, and we can just kind of go from there. Oh no, the shrimp isn't there. Homework is shrimp, right? Yes. Make me a retro anime shrimp drama. Uh, then go from there. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for joining today's stream. Please join the show after this, and we would love to see you guys there. Thank you so much to Kinky and Ancient for co-hosting with me today, and just making this all happen. So, and again, thanks everybody here so much. You all make it worth it. Thank you. Have a good one. See you guys.
Bye bye.
Bye.